from, her baby daddy and herself's interaction with regards to spinning the block and things like that. That was one of the first questions she asked him when she sat down with him, right? So that to me means like she had that at the forefront of her mind to ask him about the situation, maybe because it's something that she's experienced herself.
But my thing is this: I look at this show like being like prison, right? If one cast member knows something, everybody knows it, and most eyes. So I'm thinking like, how did she not get this information beforehand? Like when they played the game, wasn't this part of the questions? Like, didn't the marriage thing come up when they played the game in the first episode? Was she not paying attention?
She's in the second.
She
She's not in
wasn't
the
there.
same group.
Oh, she was on the second. So that means half the cast
He's
knows.
in the first, and she was in the first group, and he's in the second.
Right, he's in the second. So that means half the cast knows that this dude is married. So there was no conversations to let her know, hey, by the way, he might be married. Like y'all not talking about that type of stuff because I'm sitting here like the the cast should know, but again, didn't catch her by surprise. She's still the same girl that was getting flown out to be with NBA players, right? The guy left her in a car to take a picture. And you mad about this guy being married, but you would go fly out with NBA players and get set in the car for like a couple of hours, wait for him? Like, come on, priorities. Priorities.
Exactly. Celebrities. Nah, we don't know what kind of celebrity it was, but
Oh,
I
this
mean,
celebrity.
I mean,
and I don't think she really likes Jonathan. So she wasn't asking nobody about Jonathan. I don't think that was even a part of it. I think it was again just a reason to just have him in the bottom.
yeah, she's not checking for Jonathan for real. But the thing about Jonathan is, and this is where he needs his 5 minutes. His situation is a lose lose of him being on the show. If he omits the information, he's lying and he looks like they still got stuff going on. If he tells the truth, which he needs to opt to do, he needs to inform people, hey, I have an ex-wife. We're still working out our co-parenting and our post-divorce situation. So it's still a touchy subject. But he doesn't want to say the latter because that's pretty much putting out the bat signal that I have ex-wife, child's mother, baby mama issues, which he doesn't want to divulge. But that's not really up to him because either way, it's going to come out. So I understand he doesn't want to be eliminated, but this is not the way to go about it because the fact of the matter is that is your real life situation. You're in a situation where it's not really amicable situation. It doesn't seem to be.
But see, wait 1 second. He did tell Maya, and I don't remember who else. So Maya knows that it's his. He just didn't tell Mika. So he did disclose
Right.
that he has an ex-wife. It just wasn't Tamika. So I think
They
that
Right, but then he with
that was the issue.
his response in the confessional is I didn't want to tell Mika because I didn't want this used against me. And my thing is he can't pick and choose and cherry pick who he's saying this to. He just needs to put it out there. This is him. Ain't that what he said? They need to accept him for him. Well, yes, they do. So you need to tell them the truth so they can accept you for you. Or they're gonna put you on the bottom because you have a messy child's mother ex-wife situation, then that's where you have to go. And I know she didn't ask. We already talked about that. But he went on to say he omitted it on purpose. He didn't clarify because he did not want her to know. So that's what I'm speaking about.
It's either you tell your narrative, you tell your story, you're gonna let other people create it. So in this case, you let Mika create it, and she could potentially have you at the bottom because she could sit there and go back to the group and be like, "Oh, he omitted this information, or he lied about it, or whatever," because her interpretation could be whatever the case may be. Like, see what I say?
Well,
Just tell your truth.
And
If
that's
I
well, the
want you to
other
look,
ladies are gonna just
I'm
do like
still, am
Alexis
I not
did.
still talking? Oh, sorry. Like,
I mean, listen, we do this all the time. Don't
no,
start.
but I'm in the middle of a whole sentence though. I ain't paused this time. Usually when
And
I pause,
I
I'll let
didn't
you jump
know.
in.
Listen.
Okay,
I
you went
didn't
through a
know.
tunnel, Sean. It's okay. I forgive you. I love you.
He didn't go through no tunnel. He been cutting me off.
I know. I don't want to tussle with Sean. I don't want to tussle with Sean tonight.
It didn't sound that way.
I know,
Oh,
but I just want you a little spicy, Sean. You like it when it's spicy.
hit him with a rare.
Well, well, hey now.
Not the hey now. Go ahead, Sean. Now you done made me get off subject. Go ahead. Finish.
I was done. That's all I wanted to say.
Not Jesus cut him off. So there you go.
I was done. Jesus didn't cut nothing.
I mean, listen, hey, look, I think this situation with Jonathan and Mieka is interesting, right? Because I think the first thing we saw with them two, and hopefully I'm not whispering because I don't know what's going on my mic, I think with you guys, but I think the situation between Mieka and Jonathan, their first interaction, so what we saw was the interrogation. And something I've noticed about Jonathan is I don't think he likes confrontation at all. So that first interaction between April and Mieka, the first thing, seemingly from what we can see, edited wise, was an interrogation. So then, knowing someone like Jonathan, he shies away from people like that. This we noticed that on the very first episode with Rashina and who's the other person? Patricia, right? He kind of shied away from them in their interactions. As soon as he sees any kind of spikiness, you might be calling it spicy. He's calling it's going to be a problem. So as soon as he sees that, he wants to kind of separate from that immediately. And I think he got that same energy from Mieka, and he got it from April. And you actually see his reactions to both April and Mieka on the last episode for April and this episode for Mieka. And he doesn't like that, right? So I think naturally for him, in that, yes, him admitting information, yeah, to you, I don't want you to know, okay? Because I don't like you and I don't like the way you've interrogated me. So what kind of information could I give you that's going to be beneficial to my explanation? If I explain it to you, I don't feel like you're even really going to hear me out. And I think that immediately put him on a back burner. But it still means that he still has to figure out how he's going to explain this, because clearly when you're explaining it, it's difficult. So you need to figure out how you're going to explain this, because you've got a complicated situation. So he still needs to figure it out, because a simple situation, I don't care if you're going to misconstrue it, it's simple enough, you can't misconstrue it. But seemingly your situation is not simple. Because if it's a case of, my ex-wife, who is the mother of my kids, okay, we had a situation previously, I came out of it, and yes, I went back and double back. That's it. No, that's all. I'm now free from it. It was it was about 6 months ago. I'm free from it. I haven't gone back there since. The reality is, you're probably still dabbling. Okay, you're probably still dabbling. You're probably still going flingy back and forth, still with a situation. It's now complicated because you've involved yourself in it now, and she's probably cussing you out probably in text as well because she's seen you on TV. You didn't tell her you on TV, but that's another joke beside that. But I think there's probably a bit more messiness to it. And so that's why you're struggling to be able to really explain it. I definitely know that he didn't probably want to explain that to Mieka, but he definitely did explain himself to Maya when he said about the ex-wife. Now, did he go into detail about the baby mama situation as such? No, he explained that he was married. So we don't know the fullness of what he's actually explained. So I still think there are some aspects that need to be fleshed out, and I don't know if he's fleshed out his own entire story. He gives me people pleaser. I can't lie to you. He gives me people pleaser. So he's given somebody who likes to please the other person to the fullest, and that can get you into some trouble sometimes, right? You put yourself in situations that you shouldn't be in, and I think that's playing now in the way that you're now struggling to really assert yourself and let people know what it actually is. But yeah, I definitely felt like with Mieka, I wish that she came with a bit more compassion. If you really wanted to know what his story was, you need to be inquisitive and not an interrogator. Okay, interrogations are always looking for things that are going to go wrong. Inquisitive people look for things that are going to go right. You weren't looking for something to go right. You were looking for something to go wrong. You were looking for something to exclude him from your list, right? So if that's the case, we understand that. But I think someone else said it as well. I think Glenn kind of said this. Why were you so hot on trying to expose him? More than likely because at her situation, she's gone through something very probably painful, and she's trying to avoid a repeat situation. But sis, there is a better way to go about asking that question or asking those questions in order